Smash that real quick. It is a long intro. It gives people time when I post it on Discord and Twitter and all these other spots to tune in and get ready. So grab yourself a drink, relax. When the videos get posted, it's nice to have a nice little intro. People can scroll forward to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and look over some things that I've been eyeing. So I'm going to start with Bitcoin. Not much has changed in my perspective over the last few weeks. I've told you guys over and over again that I have been getting long from down here on Bitcoin. I accidentally closed this and fat fingered it last night, but whatever. Probably try to look to get back in if I can, if we do take a dip. But I was in from 54.4 right here. So this is the area I was in. I started DCAing down in this range. Average entry here, I wrote it up. I closed at 63.7 by accident. Overall, looking at it, not a terrible thing to do. I did want to hold this as a swing trade all the way up to 75.6. But hey, if we fill this FVG or come down a little bit at all, I'll just jump back in. No big deal. But I still do think Bitcoin is going to go to this target at 75.672 before we take out this A point here, which is right around 48.50, 49K. So overall, that's what I'm looking at. The one thing that we still need to break is we do have a bearish divergence right here on the daily. You can see you have a higher high in your oscillator up here, but you do still have a lower high in price. So this could be a signal that we could get a little bit of down movement here. So that is something to watch out. I'm going to show you why I think this is really not that concerning in terms of altcoins, and even if Bitcoin does take a shit, why I still think altcoins are going to be super resilient. So that is there. That is possible. This can get broken. We can just come up here and tap above this and maybe still come down, form a higher high. But this is the bear's last defense. I actually have a chart I think already made where it'll kind of go over that. So over here you can see we had our high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we have bearish market structure here, right? Market structure is bearish. Overall, it does look like a macro bull flag. We'll see what's going to happen, but we do have bearish market structure here. This is the first time in a while that we put in a nice higher low over here. So this was the first shift to really kind of change market structure up. What we need to do next is we need to take out this high. Like these two highs are the next targets. If we can take these out, we're on a very nice shift of market structure for a nice uptrend. So just keep that in mind, guys. That is what I'm eyeing to see what will happen. But we are starting early signs of shift in market structure. You have weekly signals with Bitcoin at these levels. You can look at the weekly, and this is the first time we've broken above the 50 on the HSI, which this is Scott Carney's software, Harmonic Trader, the guy that wrote the books. This is his software. And once we break above this 50, you usually see impulsive moves. So breaking above this, I do still think the target is 100 grand Bitcoin as well. And Scott went over that on his Twitter too. If you guys have time to look at that, probably some of his YouTube videos too. But we are breaking above the 50. We should start looking for impulse moves up. No reason to be super bearish in my opinion. We do have this on the low time frame, just a bearish div. So if that does come down one more time, that would be an opportunity to add versus trying to short for minimal gains when you can be looking for swings. And altcoins look great right now. One thing to look at with Bitcoin dominance, and we'll look at this from the weekly view first. So on a weekly view, I've had this shark for a while. 886 here, this was the bottom of Bitcoin dominance. This is when Bitcoin started to perform. We had a nice little channel down here that it was reacting to, bounced off it, broke out of the channel here. If you actually go to the daily, you can probably see it a little bit better because we did have high, high, low, 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 low. So it was a nice little channel we had. And then we broke above it, right? So that was the breakout signal where we really started to take off. And then when you have a bullish bat or a shark, once you hit the 0.5 mark, you get that bearish 5-0. So, I mean, I could draw it for you. I mean, they look something like this. But when it comes up to that 50% retracement level, that is when you're looking for it to start to reverse. So we hit the 50%. This is the area where I think, and I have been telling people, alts are going to be a crazy steal versus Bitcoin. And you can see on the weekly here, we have just like this rising wedge. And once this does start to break down and we start rejecting this 50, I think alts are going to go on a fucking tear. So if we get something like this, this could be a very nice move up. And this could still fuck around for a little bit, right? But in my eyes, this is where you start placing your bets on alts. They're very cheap for Bitcoin. You can move some Bitcoin over into some alts. You can look at Bitcoin pairs. And one thing to notice when you're looking at this too is how strong alts are going to be. And people ask why. Why is that? And I'll show you real quick. I'll put up a quick image. If you guys don't have this, I can post it. But just your Bitcoin dominance chart, you can look this up. Multiple spots. There's multiple versions of this. But when you have Bitcoin dominance increasing, and this is, some of you guys probably already know this, some don't, so I'm going to cover it real quick. But you got Bitcoin dominance increasing, which has been happening since like 2022, the bottom. You see alts, like when all three of these, when they increase, no matter what Bitcoin does, alts are like stable, they decrease, or they decrease fast. So they haven't really had an alt season. Like you've had like many areas where you had these little dumps, right? Where you've had select fews that have beaten Bitcoin. And if you were lucky enough to do the research or find one, then you could outperform Bitcoin. But overall, Bitcoin has performed probably better than almost all but maybe like 30 or 40 in the top 200 coins by market cap. But now when you see Bitcoin dominance decreasing, which I think we start to see here shortly, and I'll show you the harmonics I see down here on a lower time frame too. That's when you're going to go ahead and see increase in alts. So even if Bitcoin stays stable, right? So Bitcoin price stays stable, dominance goes down. That means money is getting rotated into alts. Alts will increase as dominance goes down if Bitcoin's stable. If Bitcoin decreases and Bitcoin dominance decreases and Bitcoin increases, you get fast moving up. So if Bitcoin is going to go to 100K and we are going to see Bitcoin dominance fall down below this, we could see very fast moves upwards with alts. And even if it decreases and Bitcoin decreases, like so even if Bitcoin took a dump and this starts to dump down from here, which I think it will soon, alts are going to stay pretty much stable. They've already taken a pretty bad beating. You're not really going to get affected as much. They're going to be very resilient. So just understanding that, and when you place your bets on these altcoins, that is something to look at, and that's very important for you guys, especially in this stage of the cycle when dominance has already increased to like 58% at hit. Yes, it can touch 60%. Yes, it can go higher than that, but this is an area to look for. We filled this entire gap area here. We had our first consolidation that we've had on this run up that we're going to be testing on a weekly as a resistance. Weekly order block here. We almost tapped the 618. We filled the gap that we had here. So this is something to look at and just pay attention to. Let me show you just on the daily here. So there's a crab here. We hit the XA, so we are starting to reject from that. The 2-day I think just printed yesterday, so we do have the 2-day that printed. And there's more harmonics here too. Like there's other ones here that you can find, like bearish patterns that are popping up throughout this entire thing. Sure, if you go 12 hour, there was a few more popping up earlier. Even the 3-day printed, and you had another one that was pending. So on the close today, this one's also going to go ahead and pen complete. We had a deep crab here, another one that hit the 2.0 mark, which is the hop level. So you have multiple harmonics here that are bearish on dominance. At the same time, you have Bitcoin breaking out of a weekly on HSI, and you also had a RSI down here on the weekly time frame breaking out of its downtrend. Like, look at that. That's huge. That is huge. I mean, we had a mini one here that we broke out of on a weekly time frame, and look what happened next. You can mark right when it broke out, right? Start a parabolic fucking move. Right when it broke out. Potentially a start of a parabolic move. We had another one right here. So this is where we broke out last time, right? The time before. Right here. It was the bottom. The fucking bottom. So this is not something to take lightly, guys. So you're above the 50 on RSI. You get above 60, you see very big impulse moves. Because you can see right here, once you jumped above 60, impulse move. Once you bounced above 60 in this area too. You had still another impulse move. So keep an eye on that. Above the 50 is good. You're breaking a bit above 50 here. You're breaking out here. Historically, I mean, just looking at this, I mean, this is when you start your impulse moves. This is even last cycle. Same thing happened last cycle. You know what I mean? Downtrend, retest, impulse. Just high time frame. So I'm gonna look at these again because I just feel like giving you guys the macro overview is what you need right now. I see too many people on the lower fucking time frame trying to short and do all this shit when you really could just do nothing and sit on your hands and probably make way more money than these people that are trading lower time frame. And that's very just, I know it might be boring, it's not cool, but would you rather make money or be cool? That's up to you guys. So this is total market cap. Forming this wedge area, we have support, tag support again here. That was at a 50% retracement. So if you go off a log scale and just look at this, you have pin from the low to the high. You came down, you tapped the 50%. We are looking for a breakout. Once we do get this breakout, I think this thing's gonna start sending. Right? This could take still a little bit more time, maybe one more, boom, boom, something like this. And if this breaks out and goes, this thing is gonna send. Same with Total 3. Total 3 looks, in my opinion, even a little bit better because this is starting to break out. So same thing, weekly time frame. You can look at this on the monthly. The monthly looks gorgeous. Tagged it, holding the bottom of the candlesticks, tagged it again, forming a nice monthly candle. If we can form this monthly engulfing candle here and break out of this, you have a nice little cup and handle on a monthly time frame. You can really see it on the weekly too. Look at that. I mean, this is just asking for us to start breaking out and go higher. And I mean, even on the daily, this might not be pinned perfect up here. I did it for my phone. But I mean, this thing's starting to go, dude. Like, look at that. I mean, we are starting to get above very, very important levels on Total 3. So even if you get one more dip, bro, that's a dip for buying. If we start making closes below this trend, sure, I will get a little more bearish and standoffish until it reclaims. But in the meantime, there's no reason. Like, you want to trade with the trend. The trend is at support on a weekly time frame, which means could be bottoms and impulse moves up. And this is just me speaking from like experience with some of these things. Is yes, you can scalp. I'm not hating on anybody that just trades. I'm just saying, if you want to make more money at the moment, you'll probably make more money swinging these and holding spot and doing these type of things at these levels than trading. And you're going to look back, and if you're using your entire portfolio just to trade and nothing to hold, you're going to deeply regret it in the future if this is going to be the bottom. And I just want you guys to know that and understand that, because it happens time and time again. I wish I bought, I wish I bought, I wish I would have just done that, or I wish I would have just hold. So none of it's financial advice. This is my opinion, but this is what I believe is going to happen. All right, so I'm going to look at a few coins, Near being one of them, because this is one that we just took a position on recently in my Discord. So this is what I was taking a trade on. We had a breakout on Near. We have AI heating up. This is supposed to be an AI chain on top of Tau. I'm already in Tau. But we got in yesterday at this breakout, or a day or two ago, at like 450-ish, right around here. And sure enough, we had a nice little candle today. We do have a lower time frame Gartley where we could find some resistance, which is also at the 236 of the macro. And that's around 560 to 578. So watch for a move from there. I mean, we definitely could get a much bigger move on this. But that is what I will take some off, because I did size up on this one. And this one's more of just a trade for me at the moment because AI is heating up. If we're gonna go to the shark target is around $9 from here. And if you're looking at a weekly time frame, that is a very important level in this area too. So we have this consolidation from back here as well. And you can actually see, so we held this level, like this is a very important level that you see here. I honestly believe the next level is gonna be up in this zone, where you'd really find some more resistance around like $6-7. But there'll be other smaller resistances on the way. But this one's going, in my opinion, much higher. This is an old chart, but this was one of the old harmonics that we had that caught pretty much the bottom of this accumulation phase that we had down here on near. And I believe there was, oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? All right. So there's a few harmonics and different time frames on this as well. I think it was the 3-day. Oh well, okay, so that's what I was looking at with Tau. Let's take a look at Tau because this is when I was in spot. Somebody was, here we go. We had the shark. So we had the shark into the shark. My entry was 257. My original buy on Tau was around $50 down here in the bear market. I don't know if you guys remember that, but if you're around back in the bear market last year, this is where my initial entry was in Tau. We did take some profits and I did re-enter around 257. So this was the shark target where I did take some off of this trade just to have a little bit more capital on the side to take advantage of some opportunities just in case, but we smashed through this area. So far, Tau looked really, really good. It had a massive move up in the last few weeks with barely any drawdown. I mean, 164%. So this was one of my spot bags. So as AI heats up, this is something to pay attention to. If we can come down and get one more buy and a retest down here at some point, I think you're looking at 350, 360-ish would be a good area if you want to get a bag of this, in my opinion. Okay, let's look at ETH BTC. So this is what I had on ETH BTC low time frame at first. So on lower time frame, this is where I'm seeing a nice little alt move as well. We swept this low that we had. I was looking for this reclaim of this low and to take out this high into this FVG over here. So this is what I'm eyeing. We're having ETH outperforming Bitcoin at the moment. Nice candle up on this. So this is what I'm looking for. Overall, I still do think we can get one more sweep if Bitcoin takes off. And we look at something like this where we're gonna go ahead later in the cycle, go ahead and touch this 0.036, 0.037 area. Maybe it front runs it and this is the bottom, which is pretty close. But like I said, we have been moving into some alts, but this is ideal level for me, especially you look at the 2 week and the monthly. I've covered this multiple times, but if we can come up, sweep into this maybe one more time, one more move down and then up, that's when you, once this breaks out of this is when you're really going to see ETH start to run versus Bitcoin. I am still long on ETH as well. So we are looking for this level of 2,800. I see no reason why it can't go there. Above that, you look for the 886 of this consolidation here for a smaller time frame, which I'm looking around here, like 33, 3,400. I have other charts with that too. Where are we at? Here we go. So you also have a 618, 618. So the 1618 is from the macro here, that lines up here, and then from here to here, that 618 is also at the same 618 as this 618, which is around 3,300, 3,400. So I do think that's going to be some resistance up there, but I think that's where it's going to go. We have this Gartley here. This was the Gartley potential reversal zone that I have marked in red. So this is where I was looking for a reversal in ETH, and we are reversing from that area now. I do have stops below, or I think my stops are around like 17 something at the moment, because I am looking for a swing trade on this. potentially all the way up to $6,000. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover real quick. I mean, NEAR and BTC and ETH were the main ones that I wanted to go over at the moment. I can do Pepe real quick because I still do like the Pepe chart. I think this is coming down into a nice area if you guys aren't in, and you can really see it on the daily here for a nice little swing. If there's a fair value gap just hanging around right down here at this level, and if it comes back to my entry, I'm going to try to add maybe a little bit more here. But we just had inverse head and shoulders here. We're looking to put in another inverse higher low here. If we can start holding this area and building just a little consolidation upwards and give us some nice market structure before we get impulse up, that would be beautiful. First target right here, we have a bearish bat, have this one marked 12, and then we have a shark that's up here around 18 for a 145% move. I think it's worth it. We have the bullish bat, type 1, type 2. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing to start moving up. So 382618, typical TPs for the bat. I see no reason you can't come up into this area. If you really want to get down into the lower time frame, we had a bat here that came, it hit both TPs, which is nice. But there's also another one right here that I figured I would show you guys in case you are just trading versus holding. But this one is a nice one up at 0.094. So if we come back down and fill these in this area, even if you do form another harmonic or something, say you form a bullish one here and you guys want to get in, something like that, even if it comes down here, I mean, if it comes down here, this is a great RR for just even a scalp, where you would be looking at something like this. That would be ideal if we could get something like that down there. But even if you were to enter in this area, that's still decent RR. The Bitcoin pairs look insane on a bunch of coins too. I've been in Brett for a while. I think Brett still looks good. I'm just holding this one until it eventually breaks out. Here's your targets. I wanted to keep this one short today. If you guys have any coins, I can do another stream. But I'm gonna keep this one short. If you want, go ahead and comment on my Twitter post under the YouTube video I posted with the coins you want, and I can do another one later. And I'll just record it and put it out with the charts that you guys want to look at. But I just want to give you guys more conviction to look at some of these things. If you're gonna get into alts, and if there's one more dip or something, I think that's the one that you want to go ahead and hammer on. But overall, everything's still looking good, guys. There's no reason in my mind to be overly bearish at the moment. My MOG trade is still doing really well. This one's holding nicely. We are looking up here on MOG. At least the 618 here, we had a type 1, so initial move down up until the 382.5 area, back down, swept this low, took out the liquidity. Now we're looking for the real move up. I haven't been trading so much. I actually moved a lot of my SOL over to SUI. But just lower time frame, you're looking at $175 next if we can break above this. Right now, it's still, this could be a spring back test, and this is your back test here. So this could be continuing to move up even higher than this. Ideally, 328 is the target on Solana eventually. Whether that be if we come down here first or if we're just going to go straight to it. But I did move a lot of my SOL into SUI. And Sui has been just performing amazingly. We had a bullish shark on Sui down here. We had another bearish shark into a bullish 5-0 here with an entry that I told people to get long Sui and buy spot around 79 cents. And then I was also looking at the Sui Bitcoin chart. Let me see if I can pull that up, or not Sui Bitcoin, Sui Solana chart. So this is what I was looking at on a log scale on Sui versus Solana, and this is one reason I switched Solana into Sui. We had this weekly log scale downwards movement, and we broke out right here, and this is when I was like, okay, I think it's time to switch some of the Sui over into, or Solana into Sui. And sure enough, we've had impulse up. It's been outperforming Solana at the moment. Altcoins on Sui have less competition than Sol, and there has been some that have been going nuts. We did hit 100x on Blub, at least a 30x for people that were in my Discord when they got it. So this is one reason I went into Sui. And right now, yes, it could start to find some more resistance versus Solana, and Solana can maybe take off again. But in my eyes, I'm looking for Sui to start really outperforming Solana, and it has. But maybe we get a little retrace on this, and then it goes again. That's it, guys. I wanted to keep it short today. Sorry for ending this early. But like I said, if you guys do want to see any coins, I'll drop a Discord link on my Twitter. So just go to my Twitter. There'll be a Discord link. Make sure you hit the subscribe. And if you want, go ahead and comment on the video on YouTube under it if you want any other coins looked at, and I can do that later. I'm going to go grab some food, guys. Thanks.